Welcome to SestraNow's Women in Business, a place where we believe that every woman is worthy of the world hearing her story. So tonight, or today, you're joining me with my very first guest. First of all, I'm Stephanie Montgomery, the host of Women in Business, and our very first guest today is going to be Annette Hicks Gill. She is my good friend. She is the co founder of my organization, SestraNow, as well as a New York attorney, a mother of seven, an advocate for women and children, and she is big on community service. So today we're going to tell her story because it is worthy of being told. So, that being said, I am going to bring on Annette. Annette, welcome to Women in Business. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so happy that you decided to join. And as a sestra, we are going to keep this as informal as possible because it's sestra to sestra, sister to sister. So let's just get on in there and show the world all about Annette Hicks Gill. And so we're going to get started. Just so everyone knows, the format is going to be kind of informal because Annette is my long, long time sister. I mean, Annette, how long have we known each other?
Whew, well, since 1998.
I don't want to start telling my age, or yours. So let's just move on from there. Okay. So I am going to start by sharing some slides and we're going to just begin to tell the story. Okay. So present and slides, and here we go. Let's get the slides on there. Yes. So let's just start. Annette, where were you born? Let's just start from the beginning.
Okay, so I was born actually in Brooklyn. My mother was a young mother and she was living in Brooklyn at the time. And so I was born in a hospital in Brooklyn. And but I was actually raised from what came from the hospital in Queens, in East Elmhurst, Queens, actually, where I currently reside.
And so you were raised in. Okay, so okay. All right. So why don't you tell us about the family? I'm trying to get up these photos, so I apologize for the delay because I want to show pictures of your beautiful family, and for some reason, it is not letting me. And then, do you see the slides, or you cannot see them?
I do not, but I'll continue. Um, and so,
Search.
yeah, so as I said, my mom was young, and I was actually raised by her sister,
Here we go.
and my grandmother, and my mother. It was like a joint effort. But I grew up, and so my first cousins are actually my siblings as well. I have, I have also two. Well, I had two brothers. One has passed, and I have a little sister who actually grew up with my daughters. My she and my first daughter are 13 months apart. So my family, I come from. I'm second generation on my mom's side. Um, it came from Panama. She was very young, and she grew up here. And I I grew up with a very close extended family, and also a religious family. And so, yeah, that's basically it. I was
So,
I married my college sweetheart. He was from Guyana, born in Guyana, and so we also have that extended family. So family is very important. Um, it's just doing things together, family occasions and stuff like that. So I came from a very strong family background, I'd say.
all right. So, I'm showing photos here of Roger, your husband. He was also my friend. So, you want to just share a little bit about that story and what
Yeah,
happened? I know it's not, it's probably a sore spot for you,
yeah.
but
Well, I started law school when I was my first child. Our first child was 5 months old, and we were there. We got through it together, and we had four daughters when he tragically died in a car accident, and I was pregnant with twins. At the time, I didn't know there were twin girls, and so that was a very hard thing to get through. And so, but he was so supportive and so beautiful, so wonderful. It was really hard to imagine life without him, but I still have some really great memories. And I had to just pull it together. Now I'm a mom of a widow with six children, um, and so we moved actually to Costa Rica because I needed to get away. And we ended up staying there for like 11 and a half years. So I was going back and forth between New York and Costa Rica. So lots of ups and downs. It's hard to raise girls without their dad. Um, I also have a seventh child that was born in Costa Rica, and that was a boy. Um,
I see
but
him, Simeon.
yes, Simeon, Simeon. So he's like the love of our lives, right? The center of our attention. And so I am a single mom. I'm not with the father of my son. But it's been a journey, but we've all had to pull together. And as you can imagine, raising teenagers, and now I have some young adult children. It hasn't been easy, but for the most part, thank God they're beautiful and bright and healthy. And I think that they're
And how
just,
many do you have, Annette?
I have seven. I said six, and I have seven.
Now
True
you have
story.
seven.
Seven from my body, including it's the set of twins. As I mentioned before, I was pregnant with the twins when my husband passed.
And I must add that these are my beautiful, beautiful twin goddaughters, Giovanna and Adriana. Yes, there's a lot of pictures of them, but yes, anyway. And that's Simeon, Simeon there. All right. Okay. So thank you for sharing about your family. And so let's get to this is about women in business. So let's get to the business. But I wanted to share a little bit about the fact that you're still a mom, right? You're not just this power attorney in New York. We're going to talk about that. And you're not just co-founder of what is going to be one of the hugest women's empowerment organizations ever. And I'm not just saying that because I'm co-founder, but you are also a woman that lost a husband, that is raising seven kids, six girls and a boy on your own, right? And you're doing it. You know what I mean? You're not just doing it, you're doing it well. And as women, a lot of us, we go through these challenges and the world has no idea what we're doing because they just see and they just think that it's easy. And you're a prime example of the fact that it is not so easy, but it can be done. So let me go into the next question. What made you decide to be an attorney?
I'm not seeing your face. I don't know if
Okay, let me
it's better for me to be engaged if I could see you.
okay, all right. Okay, so let me stop sharing the screen. Let me stop sharing the let me stop sharing my screen. Sorry about that. I don't know why. Like the slides just want to take over, and I don't know why the slides are taking over, but let me take them down. And
I love the pictures, all those memories.
okay,
Maybe
I'm
you
going
could
to
look at.
add myself and add you now. Can you see me?
I see you. Yes, I
Okay.
still see the picture, but it's okay.
All
But at
right.
least I
So
see
let's
you.
just keep the picture up there. But I think we can see each other. This is good. So
Yes,
you can see me though. Okay. Go ahead.
yes.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so, as I said before, I come from a Christian background, and I just had, from a very young age, I just had this consciousness of justice, this consciousness of fairness. And I was just always somebody who was always ready to debate. It was like almost in my genes or something. I don't even know. So I've always was able to express myself and to defend others, and so it was almost a natural thing. So my whole life I've been told, "Wow, you'll be a great attorney," and so that formed my the view of myself. And I also, you when you're a kid and you think you want to be successful, it's like I'll be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or one of those fancy professions or professions that are deemed desirable. And so that drove me as well. I knew I wanted to be able to be successful and to be able to make a good living, well, more than a good living. So that was it too. And it's interesting because I thought I would go into corporate law so that I could be able to make a lot of money. And then I went to college, Stony Brook, and I had started out as an English major, but then I added sociology. And I remember that first introductory course to sociology just blew my mind. And that really, um, that really opened my mind to just the whole world of like how things are, fairness. And so when I went into law school, I thought that I would do public interest law, and just, be a poor lawyer for the people.
Yeah.
But it's just very, very, from very young, I wanted to be a lawyer and I just couldn't see myself being anything but that. Well, except for maybe a community organizer, which
Okay.
I kind of do. I feel myself, I kind of do both.
Okay. So right now you are opening or have already opened your own law firm for the first time in East Elmhurst, and I understand that that is a dream. That was always a dream of yours. Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about the your vision for your. Actually, I don't want to go there yet. Tell us what type of law do you practice and where we can find your law office.
Yeah. So I see myself as a community lawyer, being able to surface, the common needs of people in the community. So I'm doing a general practice. I can do some wills and real estate and contracts. I'm doing quite a bit of immigration and family law. And so, this today, for many years, I operated in a virtual office because the profession the profession has just evolved that way where we're able to use technology. And so really I did have to, you don't have to have a physical space, the brick and mortar, but because of the fact that I really wanted to have, to plant a stake. In addition to growing up in this neighborhood, I wanted to have a presence where I can advocate for my neighbors. And it's also very important that we have black owned businesses, that presence, because I've seen the community has changed a lot, and I think it's important for us to be leaders, to serve as role models, to to um, to be able to plug into the overall fabric, to contribute, to form that, to nurture it, to to strengthen that. And so that's very important. So more than anything else, I am here to be able to have the footprint in the community, to help in whatever way I can, above and beyond the legal services that I provide.
Okay, we're going to get back to your practice and business questions. So I want to jump into a little bit about SestraNow. For those of you that don't know, this Women in Business is being done and presented by SestraNow, which is an international women's empowerment organization that was founded by myself, Stephanie Montgomery, and Annette Hicks Gill. So Annette, why don't you tell me what was it about, what made you decide to start SestraNow? And so we're going to share some of these slides here. This is
Yeah.
you and I.
Yeah, so the truth is, in our friendship, we've always done things together and we've had similar visions on certain things. And it was you actually who came up with the concept. And it was nice because it had a basic structure of how can we accomplish, how can we serve women, how can we help women, empower them. And so when you shared that with me very early on, I said, yeah, that sounds great. And we were able to form together the the principles, the goals, and things like that. And so I really believe in what's what SestraNow is founded on, the purpose. And I felt that we were a good fit to be able to accomplish those things together.
Okay, so what do you want women in the world to know and understand about SestraNow?
I believe that we as women are very different in our leadership approach. Yeah, I think sometimes we may emulate what the patriarchy has established as leadership, but I think that when we do that, it's not even natural. I think that we are by nature more nurturing. We're more, we're mothers. We're mothers. We're aunts. So we see the world in a in a loving perspective. And so I think that we tend to be more community minded. And so I believe that, for instance, I really believe that if women ruled the world, we wouldn't have so many wars, right? Because there's something maternal, even within us, those of us who don't have children, there's something that we have that's protecting. And so while we do want to be successful, and there are a lot of women who are very ambitious, I think we have a perspective that can allow us to accomplish that in a more community minded way. And so SestraNow, I believe, is a vehicle where, we do believe I am my sister's keeper, and that we want to build up community as we prosper. We want to do it together. Um, and so SestraNow is about that. It's about, as I move, I'm not thinking just about myself. I'm thinking about how my actions are going to impact, whether it be in a negative way, but more importantly, in a positive way. Like, let's build, rather than destroying to be able to become elevated. So for SestraNow, the idea of SestraNow is that we want to help every woman, right? We have those of us who have more access to resources or have more privilege, where we could be able to support those who need the support. Um, Gives us an opportunity to serve, because I believe that we should, when as we develop, it's not just about climbing the ladder on your own, but in order to have breath, you need to build a good foundation and bring people up with you. Um,
What about the
so that's
money?
it.
And that you
Money.
and I mean, we built this out over the course of 4 years together. And then
Mhm.
recently, just within the last, I don't know, 6 to 7 months, 6 to 7 months ago, you stepped down from your position as chief operating officer and co-founder, and maybe some that don't know, even as equity partner, right? But so can you explain a little bit of that? What made you step down, and do you see money in SestraNow? What do you see in the future, of SestraNow? And explain why you decided to step down.
Um, I why did I decide to step down? I think that we have both of us, while we share a vision, a common vision, the way that we want to go about it didn't always go, we didn't always agree with that. And I think that created a tension. Um, and I felt that, I really love being a lawyer. I love the occupation. In my heart, I've wanted to build my practice. Um, and so I really saw SestraNow for me as a more of a social, um, as a social vehicle to be able to support, to provide services. However, I do believe that it's a great model for you to be able to, for prosperity, right? And so, but I tend to, my heart tended to go towards that. I think you definitely share that, but you're motivated more about trying to bring wealth, trying to make it happen. And that's important. For a while it was great because it's a balance, right?
Yes.
But I just feel that sometimes, I think sometimes when you have organizations, you need to have one leader, right, to really be able to accomplish, um, when I say one leader, like a person who is the 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 head, right? And you know, and we in SestraNow we believe all women that serve are leaders. So I'm not talking about like a top heavy kind of situation, but I'm saying like we had a pull, you know, a tug and pull that sometimes we just couldn't surpass. And
Because
so
we're two aggressive women, right? The sisters we're talking, right? Some people would say, "Oh, Stephanie's not so aggressive," but you saw that other side of me. When it's business, is business, right?
right, right.
but what I love about it is that we maintain our sisterhood, our relationship. That no
Yeah.
matter what, you saw we showed the photos, right? We had long time since 1998, right? And the fact that we survived that, and my godchildren will always be my godchildren. You will always be my baby's mama, right? No matter what. So I think we are an example of collaboration, right, and not competition. And let's move on to that. Thank you for explaining. I want to move into a little bit more of the business before we wrap this up, because we know a lot of women and people have short attention spans. So let's get to some of the other more business topics. What would you say is your biggest challenge in life and in the business? So we can start with life. Your biggest talents as Annette Hicks Gill in life, personal life, and then in business.
A big challenge for me was balancing motherhood and my professional life, and especially doing it without my husband, without their father. Um, it was it was hard to balance, and many times I felt that I had to give up my personal ambitions and goals, and I feel like I kind of lost myself in the children, but not in a not always in the most healthy ways, right? Because I feel like in the end, your children need to see you be ambitious. They need to see you work, you know, but you can't be absent. So it's like how much is too much and how much is too little. So I'd say my biggest challenge in my personal life was balancing being a mother and also not losing myself in that. And so I stepped away from, not stepped away, I always maintained my license. I always maintained, you know, some clients just to keep current. But I feel like I don't regret it, but I feel my friends and my colleagues, I see where they are in life. And I had big plans, I had big aspirations, and I kind of put it on hold. And so I don't think it's a bad thing because I think I did what I needed to do to give my children the foundation, which is most important because I don't want to, you know, why gain the whole world and lose your children? Right? You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
So, but I think that it was not a balance. It was not easy to maintain the proper balance. And then now my biggest challenge in business, it's exactly seeing exactly what I am in this stage of my life, right? I'm going to be 50 this year. And many people at this age are trying to kind of look toward pivot and say, you know what, we're, you know, I mean, it could be prime too, but it's a different stage in life. Right now, my children are older. And so I'm looking to almost start new, start fresh. And what does that look like? You know, do I have 20 years left in me to work? And who wants to be working at 70? You know what I mean?
Well,
So, so
that helps me segue into the next question.
um,
What's your end game in life and business? What would you say is your ideal world? Because of the session now, right? That
mhm.
is part of our mission. When we came up with this mission of SestraNow to empower women mentally, physically, and financially in all aspects of life, we're the how we plan on doing that, right? And that is by women uniting and giving of their individual gifts, talents, and abilities to uplift that other woman so she can be her best self. So her end game is all she's ever wanted it to be, and she can end this life strong. So that being said, what is your end game?
I'd like to build up this business in a way where I have opportunities for young attorneys to come in and be able um, to prosper, to be able to balance. You know, if you're a woman, how do you, you know, be able to be a place where you can be successful and a successful attorney, but also dedicate the time to your children and your family. And so I'd like to leave that legacy. I'd like
Wow.
for my law office, and possibly I envision having partners, and having a firm that almost what that would even that embodies the same principles of SestraNow, right? You can have it all. Um, you can have it all. You can do family. You can do. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it if you are community minded, if you are aware and sensitive. Because I feel like when people feel appreciated, feel seen, feel valued,
Mm.
that you develop this kind of you develop you nurture an environment and where people want to be there for you, show up for you because of your relationship that you have with them, right? So it's not that's like, okay, let me just check these boxes and do the minimum amount of work so that I can get that paycheck. I feel that we can really foster that kind of things like Session Now has in a work environment where it's like, wow, I love to come to work, and yeah, I need to do this, but I can't, I don't want to disappoint the team, that team kind of environment. And I think it's possible.
So, Annette, what tips? Because you've been doing this a very long time. How long have you been in practice? 'Cause since I've known you, we've worked together in legal matters and on, non-legal matters, and I know you to just be a powerhouse in many aspects of life. Not only just a amazing mother, right, and a great friend and sister and sestra, but also you're good at business, right? I think we worked well together when you were an active co-founder, in that what I didn't know, and I didn't know where I wasn't strong, you fill the gap. Like, a lot of what we do right now, in terms of SestraNow initiatives like Workshop Wednesdays, and something that we're going to bring back, Integrate Your Plate, and Sisters Promoting Sister Week. And a lot of these things, you as the chief operating officer, you created that, you implemented them, you made it what it is today. So that being said, you're the woman that other women business owners, whether they're startups or whether they're at the top of their game, you have something that you can offer to them as far as advice and tips. So if you could just give them one tip, what would it be to the rest of us? What would you tell us to do, as your tip to be successful in business, which you are? You're living your dream of opening your own law firm. I know, in East Elmhurst, the first Black woman law firm in East Elmhurst, Queens, which is pretty big. What is that tip that you have for other business owners, women business owners?
I think that you have to have a plan. I think that you have to be someone of your word. Um, you have to answer those calls. You have to show up, um, and you have to. It has to come from the heart, right? If you're if and you should be passionate about whatever it is that you do. So like, even if you, no matter what. So, sometimes we say, you could say, I'm going to start this business because it's easy money or it's simple, right? Whatever it is, you got to be honest with yourself, and think about what really matters to you, and it has to be aligned in why you get up every morning. I mean, I don't want to sound so cliche, right? But the truth is, you have to find a comfortable space where it's like, I want to get up and I want to come into the office and I want to conquer every day. So you got to be clear on that. And sometimes it takes a long time to get to that place. I'm still learning, honestly. I'm still learning. I've done a lot of, uh, I'm doing a lot of foundational things so that the business does thrive. I actually, I have been, having clients, but we have not officially had the grand opening and opening our doors. So I think you gotta use your resources. I have friends who do accounting. I have friends who are good at organizing. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the title. There are people who are project managers. Get a village around you, and don't be
Yes.
afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Start small. Don't bite off more than you can chew. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive help, because um, sometimes people are hard to receive. they find it hard. But I see it as, you investing in me right now is going to eventually, benefit our community. So I'm really grateful for the support that I have, the friends, the colleagues, the relationships that I've built. And I see it. And even with raising my children, that has been my approach. Like, we're a village. I need my village. It's okay. So my friends really, they feel that my children are their children. And so because
Yes.
of that, they show up and they support. And so I've never been the one that said I can do this on my own, or I don't need help. I do need help. I try to keep myself humble, and people show up. And I feel like I'm surrounded by love, and that propels me forward.
So I mean, you're kind of answering one of some of my last questions, right? One of my questions was going to be, how may we help you level up? How can we, as sestras and the viewers, support Annette Hicks Gill, Annette, the law offices of Annette Hicks Gill? Can you tell
Yeah.
us how we can support you?
Well, the obvious is you can refer people to me, but also I would like to create, well, tap into SestraNow, right? The whole marketplace, and there's SestraNow, um, consulting, right? So as an attorney, people come through your doors all the time. I'm not trying to be a jack of all trades or a Jane of all trades. So just being part of this network where I can refer people to you, or I can give you a call. I'm not sure about this legal situation or any situation, because if you're community minded, people come through your door and they're crying about something, maybe some kind of social issue. But if we can build ourselves as the community and execute the way, the goals that Ancestor now has, to come together where we can be able to meet the needs of all the women that come through our doors. So, be part of that network, be part of developing Session Now, so that it's that one-stop shop, where, of course, I'm willing and ready and able to meet the needs that you have, that I particularly have expertise in. But it's important that we build this community.
To building out the community. So, okay, thank you so much for all that you have done, um, to just make Session Now what it is today. And I want to give you your roses, because yes, I'm taking the ball and I'm running with it, but you put in 4 years. So I want to publicly give you the credit for what you have done. I want to publicly give you the credit for believing in me when no one else would. You put up your own personal finances to help SestraNow to exist, to help us to have the app, to help us to have all things, because you believed, right? Yes, you step down for your to pursue your own business as an attorney, but I just want to remind everyone, you are still involved because you're on the panel for SestraNow Consulting, so they can take advantage of your legal services and other just consulting services. By being a part of SestraNow, you get the benefit not only of Stephanie and all the other women professionals, but Annette Hicks Gill and the many other women that we're going to interview. That's the great thing about SestraNow in this community, is that you have the benefit of women all over the world, that when you come to me with an issue, with a question, I tap our community of women professionals, many that are just like Annette Hicks Gill, just good women, strong powerhouse women that are very smart. Okay, so I want to end it with this question too. When we come to the law office of Annette Hicks Gill, what are we going to receive, um, different than any other law firm? Because yes, there are thousands of law firms and thousands of attorneys in the state of New York, but I believe you're special. I'm telling them, yes, go to Annette Hicks Gill law office, but I may be very biased because you're my sister and you're my sister. You're like, a blood sister to me, right?
Mhm.
So, but what service can they get from you? What can you tell them they will receive from you that would distinguish you from every other law firm in New York? Why don't they hear it from you as we close out?
Yeah. I think it's often the experience or even the perception that when you go into a law firm, it's almost like you're just another person, a number, right? I don't ever want to be like a warehouse where you come in and and we just herd you in and push you through the process. Um, I believe that the service and the care and the attention that one deserves, you will find that here. You will find that you matter. You would find that it's not just, we are going to do our best that we can for you, even if it was as if it was for ourselves or a family member. So it may not be the biggest operation, but you'll find warmth, you'll find genuine concern, and you're going to find that we're going to work hard for you to accomplish what it is that to fight for you, to fight with you, to accomplish your goals.
All right. Okay. On that note, I want to thank you, Annette, for joining us tonight or today. I'm sorry, it's not a TV night show. I don't know what I'm getting ahead of myself.
Mhm.
But I want to thank you for joining us and telling us your story, because this is what Women in Business is about. Every woman, we believe, deserves to have the world know their story, and you have a powerful one. You have your very inspirational story, and I will always be inspired by you. And that being said, we're going to say bye, and until the next Women in Business. Thank you, Annette Hicks Gill, for your time and for telling us all about your story and for being so transparent with us. And I look forward to working with you via SestraNow Consulting. And also, you will always be my Sestra. All right. Take care.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to end the show right here. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you, viewers.